What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. Today we're going to talk about remote viewer number one, Joseph McMoneagle, and how he described Mars as being the place to go if you want to see broken down villages and buildings and engineering and machines from a civilization 1 million years ago. So you guys have probably heard this story, but if not, Joseph McMoneagle was remote viewer number one. He was the first remote viewer of the psychic spy program, and he was tasked with many different things, from old Russian projects to submarines to basically anything that could be a threat to the United States. But they also got curious, apparently, I don't know why, because this doesn't really have like a threat to America, but they were curious to see if he could do a remote viewing on 1 million years ago BC on Mars. Now, they didn't tell him that. They just said, go ahead and remote view what's in envelope B6354321, whatever, in the other room, right? It's a blind experiment. But when he did that, he thought, his initial impression was it was Earth. He was seeing pyramids. He was seeing engineering. He was seeing all kinds of vehicles, just like a civilization. But he also saw that it was like disrupted by a geomagnetic storm. Now, in a recent interview, he talked about how if we were to go there today, we could still see some of the civilization that used to be there. And some of these buildings, some of the, just the livable habitats, the vehicles, and so on and so forth. So it reminded me about the fact that, Elon Musk and some of these other, NASA and some of these other space agencies are super interested in Mars and going there. And we've dropped off a few different rovers, right, with varying scientific capabilities, explorative capabilities, reconnaissance capabilities, videography capabilities, and so on. And, they can drill into certain places, like different rock formations. They have that capability. They have a laser capability. Just lots of technology on these things. So if they send them up there and they want to look at some aspect of an ancient civilization, they could do it. And isn't it interesting that Musk wants to go up there and NASA keeps wanting to go back there? It's almost like it's their fallback planet. It seems as though it wouldn't be livable. However, many people in the secret space program state that you can actually go up there and you can actually breathe up there. Now, from the pictures that we've seen, it looks so ruddy and dark red and rusty, and that would be like iron oxide, basically, rust. That's what it looks like to us. But they don't have to tell us the truth, though, do they? And so it might be perfectly livable, and there might be technology that's underneath that's perfectly usable if we decided to go up there. And if there was a group of people, right, the ultra rich, that wanted to go up there and live up there, they might be able to find underground livable huge buildings that might be useful. Even Joseph McMoneagle stated in his recent interview that these buildings, these pyramids in particular, were built for last resort refuge and survivability. So I find that fascinating because if they can find these places, they could possibly live in them. He said the people that lived up there were 7 to 10 feet tall. So they probably, I'm not basing it off of their height, but they probably had the need to survive off of oxygen. It just seems like that's, common in most planets. Not in every planet, but pretty common in most planets, especially so close to Earth. So if that was the case, maybe there are oxygen-producing machinery that we could use up there, or we could just ship it up there. And if there's already pre-built infrastructure that we could, utilize or reverse engineer to, or retrofit to allow us to inhabit Mars on a large scale or even on a small scale, it might be worth it, because maybe we could mine some areas that we need for minerals and start to build a livable situation up there. The people who are receiving the information back from these rovers know what chemical composition is in the atmosphere and whether or not it's usable. And then there's a secret space program that could utilize it and make it livable. And what if along the way, since the 1940s, if we've encountered some species that maybe possibly gave us some technology to retrofit a portion of a planet or a city or a building so that we could inhabit it, or create some livable green spaces that could benefit us and create maybe a small bubble city up there. That's not out of the realm of possibility. Or maybe I'm digging too far. The second option is just using what's up there, and it's already underground as it is. So potentially we could just have, what's already there be built and used for us, and continue to live in what was already made. Unfortunately, they did die off, but what the planets typically do is they typically create a renewed ability for life. So if the life did die off 1 million years ago, by now, maybe, possibly, we could be seeing that Mars is renewing itself, and that it's able to allow life to flourish again. So it's just a thought, just thinking about it. What do you think? What are your thoughts? I'm interested in what potential capabilities there are on the planet, why we're so interested in it, and why we continue to want to go to Mars. It's interesting. We continue to do remote viewing there on grand scale. They've seen the face in Cydonia. If you haven't seen the face on Mars, there's clearly a humongous clear-cut face that you can see from space. That was a building, and that was a livable area. And it's interesting because on Earth we also have those huge petroglyphs that are carved into Aztec areas. So like the humongous ant, the humongous human face, the humongous spider. There's all these petroglyphs that are along the Earth. And if we take that and extrapolate it to other planets, it's almost like a land here marker, isn't it? Like there's life here. Not that the spaceships couldn't do an analysis on the planet and see if there's life, signs of life on that planet, but it is interesting to see that there's petroglyphs on other planets other than just Earth. So what do you think? What do you think? It's interesting. I mean, I love seeing new interviews with Joseph McMoneagle. He's a great dude. Gives us a lot of great information. But the recent fact that he talked about it just made me want to do a podcast about what he had to say, and the fact that if we were to go up there right now, that there would still be buried, but still be all of this technology and all of this civilization remnants that could be utilized for a future civilization on Mars. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Worthwhile exploring, or just let it go? All right. I'll let you guys go. Have a fun Sunday. Enjoy your day. Take care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Till next time, guys, take care. Lockdown Universe out. Peace.